Hey everybody, it's Carla. Welcome to the Happy Bookmaker. Hope you're having a great day. It's the end of August. Tomorrow is September 1st already. Yay! If you're like me and you love fall, this is great news. So today we're going to do something, this is for me, something that I've needed to do for quite a while because if you're like me and you print recipes off of the internet, or honestly, I on YouTube I watch a lot of cooking shows, cooking channels, I should say, and I am furiously writing down the recipes. And I know that there's often a link that you can go to get them, but I have a mess. I have a mess of recipes in my mobile island drawer, and it looks kind of like this. So a lot of them, I'll go ahead and go to the website, and some of these aren't from YouTube, but I'll print them out on 8.5 by 11 paper, because that's what they usually come out on. Although sometimes I have screwed up a couple of times and accidentally printed on photo paper, these little 4x6 papers, but it's kind of cool because it's kind of like a little recipe card. And I've got tons of these because they always would give me free ones when I ordered certain papers. So, but a lot of these like handwritten things that I just would, scribble down as fast as I could. So what I'm gonna do today is make a little kind of a recipe journal, I'm gonna call it. And it's gonna be from scratch. It's gonna be with like chipboard and paper, contact paper, just regular scrapbook paper, glues, clip art images, a few stickers. It's going to be super fun and super easy, and I'll bet some of you might need to do the same thing. Before we get started with that, I have a little channel announcement, and what that is I am going to be changing my schedule. Right now I download on Tuesdays and Fridays. However, I'm not sure what's happening with YouTube, but my views have gone down, and I have heard a couple of other creators say something about this. So what I'm going to do is, and I love doing it, I'm not going to stop doing it, but it is a time commitment, and my videos are longer. So sometimes an hour or more. And I've kind of been letting other things take the back seat. Like I have a couple of paintings started. I'm actually writing a couple of books, and I haven't done anything on those recently. So I'm going to step back a little bit and just do one video a week, at least for the foreseeable future. And maybe things will pick up again, and maybe I'm doing too many because I'm doing longer videos, I don't know. I'm not sure if it's me. I'm not sure if it's YouTube. I'm not sure if it's the time of year. But I'm just going to kind of keep an eye on it and get back to doing some other things. And I may slip in a few little, quick little videos here and there, sprinkle a few in now and then, just if I feel like it. So I just wanted to let you know that. And boy, do I appreciate you for watching and subscribing. And I'm hoping that things will pick up soon, and we'll kind of get back to, I don't know, the way it was when I kind of started this in the spring. So anyway, get that out of the way. And again, thank you so much. I appreciate you. And we're going to get started on this fun recipe journal. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start with, this is chipboard. And again, I mentioned that I'm doing this 8.5 by 11 because that is pretty much, what I print recipes out at when I'm doing them, when I'm printing them off the internet, right? So this is really a good thickness, a really sturdy chipboard. You wouldn't have to use something like this, just like, it's really sturdy. So this one I ended up having to cut to 8.5 by 11. This one already was, so I've already cut it down. You could use, like if you're doing this on your own, if you don't have something really heavy, which are just inserts from, orders that I've received, and I just save these things. You could use a cereal box or any other kind of food box that you can get the size out of it that you want. And you can make it double, triple the thickness by gluing, you know, sheets of it together. For my purposes, for this being my own little kind of recipe journal, this is more than adequate. And it, you know, it could be that one cereal box would be adequate for you too. So again, if you don't have, you know, this really heavy chipboard, you know, go ahead and use a food box, or go ahead and use some cardstock and maybe a few layers of that if you don't even have a food box. So I'm going to be showing you alternate ways of doing this if you just don't happen to have some of these supplies. So we're going to start with this. I have decided to do, and you may not have this kind of thing either, but this is contact paper back from, well, not that long ago, but I also redo furniture. And so I will often do, like, I line the drawers with pretty contact paper and that sort of thing. So I have some different patterns of that. But I thought that this would be really nice on the cover because it's that kind of, you know, vinyl-y, can be wiped off kind of thing. So that'll be really sturdy for the covers of the book. And then for the insides, so when we turn it over, and this will be wrapped over, I found a coordinating scrapbook paper. This was from a 12 by 12 sheet, and I cut them down. And when I cut them down, I made them a hair smaller than 8.5 by 11. Just a hair. I mean, I don't even think it's 1/8 of an inch, because I am going to be wrapping the contact paper over. So it, you know, I'm going to leave a little bit of that showing, if that makes sense. So if you don't have contact paper, you know, go ahead and use whatever you've got. Use regular paper. If you're worried about it getting, you know, really, you know, messed up and you want to be able to wipe it off, you can Mod Podge it. You can Mod Podge it right onto your, you know, chipboard or whatever, and then go over it with a coat. And at that point, I don't think you would even have to worry about going over like I'm going to be doing. You know, you probably wouldn't have to worry about that at all, but you could if you wanted to. So there are lots of ways to do this. Just regular paper you could use, and if you're not worried about it getting mussed up, don't do anything. That's perfectly fine. But then I'm also going to be doing, as a fun kind of embellishment on the front, I'm going to be doing this clip art recipe, image. And so what I did was I went and did some searching and found a lot of things on Graphics Fairy. And I love these kind of vintage images, which is just perfect for the look that I want to go for my recipe journal. So I'm going to, for this one on the cover, I have sealed this, not with fixative, which is a great thing, but it's kind of expensive, and I don't have any, but with hairspray. So you can do that. And when you do that, just a light coat over your image, you will help kind of hold down some of that ink, like from an inkjet image, so that it doesn't smear or, you know what I'm trying to say, so that you don't ruin your image with obviously the wet Mod Podge. So I use hairspray for that. You can get workable fixative. It's great stuff. Again, I don't have any, and it's kind of pricey, so as often as I do it, I feel like the hairspray is fine. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to Mod Podge it on the cover and then go over just the image so that it is wipeable as well. Okay? And then on the inside covers, we are going to do, along with this really pretty plaid paper, I'm going to do a little pocket on each inside with this craft paper envelope. And I got these at Hobby Lobby quite a while back, and they were really cheap. I think I got a whole package for 99 cents because it was clearanced. So I'm going to cut off the top, and I'm just going to affix it to the inside cover. And I'm going to do a little embellishing, like this is like the cutoff end of the contact paper. See how it's got that little ruffly look? So I'm thinking about doing something where I just kind of do something like this along the bottom. This will be cut off. And then maybe some fun little three-dimensional scrapbooking stickers. Like these are Jolie's, I think. And these are all, you know, like cooking. Oh, there's a blender. he fell off. Hold on a second. He fell off the base. So like I've got some toaster. I've got some, I guess that's bread, some eggs. I've got a little blender. So I might do something like that as a little embellishment just on these little envelopes because, you know, we can make it fun. You don't have to do that. You don't even have to have an envelope on the inside. What this is for is to collect little recipes like this. Look, I mean, look, you know, I am going to rewrite this, but maybe until I do, I can fold it up and stick it in here. Or maybe you just, you know, grab something really quick, write something down really quick, and you just need a spot to tuck it into. Anyway, just a little tuck-in spot for things like this, and for like, you know, when I accidentally or on purpose print on these little photo, you know, little photo pieces of paper, which I really like. I like the size of it. Also, I think you can still get, like for photo albums, you can get the sheets that have like the partitions to put like photos. And that would be ideal also for these kinds of things. I don't have any right now. I might look for that, and I don't know if they're going to be 8.5 by 11, which is the size I need. So that's another idea. And then I'm going to have these dividers because I do want to have a little bit of organization to this. So I just went to Office Depot yesterday and found these really cool 8.5 by 11 dividers. And I like the little colorful tabs. And these are actually erasable even in ink. So if I decide to change the title later, you know, I can erase it. So I have made 5 categories. You don't have to do this. This is totally just me. And so I've got breakfast, main dishes, breads and muffins, sides and veggies, and desserts. And for each section, I also went to Graphics Fairy, and then I just also like I Googled like free clip art to find a fun little image to put on the front of each one of these. And what we're gonna do, I might have to cut these down a little bit. So I found these fun little images. So here's a breakfast image, like pancakes and syrup and butter. So I'm just gonna lay this down. I think this is kind of retro looking. And then like slap down my image. You don't have to do that. You could have a plain piece of paper here. You could have a pretty piece of cardstock. And if you did something like that and you needed a tab, you could do, if you didn't want to go out and buy anything, you could take a circle punch and you could insert a white piece of paper or a pretty colored piece of paper, and you could make a little punch just like that. Boy, that was loud. And then you could take, say there was no tab on here, you could take it and go like halfway over. This isn't a particularly large circle. You could probably find a bigger one, but then you would have a colorful punch that you didn't have to buy. You could cut out just any shape that you wanted to. You could make it a square, whatever you want to do. So you don't have to go out and buy these if you don't want to. Okay, so I think I've kind of explained what we're going to be doing. So let's get started. Okay, I'll be explaining more as we go, but I've done a lot of preparation in advance to make this go as quick and easy as possible, hopefully. So let's get our front and our back. Oh, I forgot to tell you something. So this is going to be a book that we are going to be punching holes, like a 3-ring binder hole. And where's my little rings? And we're going to be using these little rings. And the reason I'm doing this is because I'm going to be wanting to add, right, to my book. So I want to be able to open it up. Now, you can get the kind, I've seen them on Amazon. It's got the metal strip, you know, that has these on it attached. You could also, if you didn't even want to buy these, which they're super cheap, and you could probably get these at Office Depot. I'm sure you can. I got these on Amazon. These are 1 inch. You could also, after you do your holes, you could take ribbons. Okay, so you could take a thin ribbon like this or whatever you felt was appropriate, and or a strong string like a twine or something, and loop that through and tie a bow, like not a knot. Now I can't find the end. I'll never find the end of this ribbon. Okay. So you can just tie, get a long stretch of it and then tie it in a way that you're not like tying a double knot or something, and that you can just pull the little strings on the bow and open it up. Over time, it might get some wear and tear, but this is another way to do it. And I really like ribbon, like the ribbon ties to bind a book. I think that it's really pretty. So lots of ways to do this. Okay, but we are going to do these. So the first thing I'm going to do is cover the front. So let's see here. I think I want the lighter weight. One of these is a little bit heavier. I think I want the lighter weight to be, they're pretty similar, on the front, just so that on the back, the back is the sturdiest part, if that makes sense. Let's go ahead and get this laid down. So what I'm gonna do is carefully, oh, and by the way, when I cut this, I was kind of being frugal, and I was trying to get two covers out of a width, right? Which I did. It doesn't leave much on the side. So we're gonna see how that works. If it doesn't, I can, stop the video and recut a bigger piece, but I really think it's gonna work. So I'm gonna pull this off, this backing, and carefully lay this down so that you can see now there isn't going to be much on the top and the bottom here. So get this down where I'm good on the sides, but it's the top and the bottom. Oh, I can go a little bit up. So I got it down, just going to push it down, and then I'm going to bring up these little ends. If I have trouble with them, I can add a little bit of glue. But this is going to be folded over, and I did that. Hold on. I'm going to change something here. This is going to be folded over, and we're also going to have this going over it. So I think what I want to do... No, I'm going to continue on with this. I was going to try to do that corner thing. Well, we could try that. Let's try it. Let's see. To get that nice sort of, I don't know, hospital corner. I'm going to try that. We'll see how that works. Because I wasn't going to, because I didn't know if I had enough going on here, but I think it might be okay. So we're going to pull that in. I'm experimenting. And I'm taking you along for the ride, so. Okay. That's down. It does seem like it wants to come up a little bit, but I'm thinking by the time I get the other paper over it, it might be okay. And I'll be using Fabri-Tac, so it'll be nice and sturdy. And again, I can put some glue under there. You little stinker, you are giving me trouble. Okay. Oh yeah, this side is a little shorter. So when you do this, you'll do it a little better than me and leave a little bit more on the ends. This was me just being like, I don't know, maybe being cheap. I don't know why. I have tons of contact paper. I don't really have to be cheap with it. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing here. Okay, so I'm bringing you back for a second because it just, it doesn't want to stay down. If it was, if I had more to work with here, I think I'd be okay. Because I totally trust contact paper, but it's, I didn't do it exactly right. So, like I said, you'll do better than me. So I'm going to do that for all the sides. Okay, I'm going to turn it around, and we are going to do the bottom part. I may not need any of the Fabri-Tac for that, but I'm going to put a little on anyway. Just in case. Okay, I'm gonna be upfront and honest with you. I didn't like the way this was looking with that little trick that I use when I do fabric covers. I just didn't like the way it was coming out. So I'm just gonna be doing this full on straight fold because it just, it was like bulky or something. And like I said, it works great for fabric, but I did not like it for this. So just so you know. And I'm also going to cut that corner so we don't have too much bulk. Okay, now the other side. Okay, yeah, that's much better. Look at how nice. Look how nice that is. Very nice, sharp corners. Worked out pretty good. Okay, so I'm going to do the other side. I'm going to do the back cover, and we'll go on from there. Okay, so we've got both of the outside covers done, and like so. Oh, I see we've got a few. That does happen with contact paper. You'll get, you know, some little bubbles, but you just kind of rub them out like this. If you have a brayer, you can use a brayer. I need to clean up that corner a little bit. But, so now we're gonna go to the inside, and we're gonna lay down this piece of paper. And again, this is just going to be with Fabri-Tac. Okay, so I've gotten as close as I can to the edge without it, you know, sort of, you know, going off the edge, because I want to cover up, get, you know, close to this and cover that up. So here we go. Oh yeah, that's nice. That's good. And if I need to, I can go back later, and you know how sometimes the corners you don't get enough on and that sort of thing. But I love this. I love it. That is so cool. Okay, I'm gonna do the next one. Lay it down. Lay it down. Yeah. Can maneuver it a little bit. Looks like I may have cut this one a little bigger. It's not bigger than the other one, but not bigger than the other side. But I didn't leave as much space, but that's okay. Oh, it looks really good. Looks really good. Wipe off this clumpy glue. Okay, I am sufficiently covered in glue, even my Band-Aid, where I was covering up my paper cut. So I'm gonna wash up a little bit, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I did try to wash, but I couldn't get it all, but that's all right, because we've got more gluing to do. Oh, these are stuck down. Okay, that's all right. So let's get to the front, which, you know, now I don't remember which one was the front. I think this was the front, okay. And I've got a little glue stuck on here, but I'm gonna go ahead and Mod Podge our little cover down because I wanna give that time, oh, that's so cute, to set up, and then so that we can also go over her in the end. So just regular old satin Mod Podge here, and I've got a nice big, you know what? Let's use this brush. Oh, I see I used it last time and it's kind of, I don't think I washed it well enough, but it's okay. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna do is get a piece of scratch paper to go over the back side. Hold on. Okay, here's just an old piece of cardstock that I use for these kinds of things. I'm just gonna brush it on liberally. I found that when I tried to use like glue to glue down an image and then Mod Podge over it, I got a lot of bubbling. So I'm not gonna do that again. Okay, I don't really have a top or a bottom. Actually, that kind of looks like this could be going the right direction. Try to get a hold of it. So I'm just gonna lay this down sort of, kind of, you know, in the center. Now she's supposed to be going straight, and the words new recipes is supposed to be like sort of at an angle. Oh, I also want to keep in mind, I'm gonna have the holes along here. So we want to allow a little bit of extra room for that. Just a little. And we'll see how it works gluing onto this contact paper. It seems to be so far so good, yeah. Okay, I'm also gonna kind of take my bone folder. I have a brayer somewhere in the garage. I don't know where. If I had a brayer handy, I would use it. See, I didn't get enough under here, so I'm just gonna add a little bit more. It is gonna be going Mod Podged over, but you know, I wanna get the corners down as well as I can. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna let this dry, and we're gonna put the pocket on the back cover on the inside. So let's see. Yeah, I mean, I think that this is, let's see. I think it could be either way. I feel like this is up. So I did decide to go ahead and just cut off this little thing. I really don't see a need for that. It's not adding anything interesting to it. So let's cut that off. And you know what? Just so that we have an idea of where to place these, let's go ahead and work on getting our holes punched. Now, this is one of those Boss Stitch 3-hole punch doohickeys, and this is not going to go through here. It's just not. I've tried it before. So this is what I'm using for the paper, and this follows the same template as let me get to one of these here, our dividers. So I'm going to put this down, and I'm going to trace the holes, right, where I want this to be with a pencil. And then I'm going to come in with the crocodile to make the holes. Because, like I said, there's just no way that, let's turn this way. I think that's my problem. Okay. There's just no way that the 3-hole punch is going to work. Because I've tried. I know, because I've tried and failed. Make a little circle, and I probably did that too dark. I don't even think, I think that this is a 1/4 inch hole, and I think that crocodile only goes to 3/16, so I may be erasing some of that, but let's see. So we've got 3/16. Yep, that's 3/16. Yeah, it's not going to be that big, but that's okay. It really doesn't matter. I just have to get the you know, the ring through it. Oh yeah, like butter. It goes through like butter. Okay, so I'm going to erase that pencil. This is why you do it in pencil. I wish I could all coordinate on this, and they could all make the same make the same size punches and holes and everything, so we didn't have to do this. But oh well, such is the life of a crafter, right? Okay, we gotta just make it work. We have to use our ingenuity. Ingenuity. Okay. I like it. I really like it. And yes, I'm going the correct direction. Oh, I love it. Okay, so let's do the back pocket. We know that we're on the inside, and I'm probably not going to measure it. I can kind of guesstimate that this is about the same as this, and I'm just going to put it down lower in case I have something that's going to stick out taller. And we're just going to use this stuff. Okay, hold the phone. Before we do that, let's do this first. I almost forgot about our little cute little embellishment, because it'll be easier to put this on before than after. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it over, and we're just going to make a little line. I'm just going to cut it with the scissors along there. And all I'm doing here is using scrap from the contact paper. Because why not? Because then it ties in with our front cover, right? You could do all kinds of stuff to this. You know, make it as fancy as you wanted it to be. I wonder if I could, I wonder. I'm thinking, so that I don't have to deal with this, cutting this off here and then having the pretty part show. That's what I'm gonna do. Okay, so what I did was I cut off this little thing, which I was gonna, keep it like this, but it's not the most attractive. So this way, the seam, I can turn around to the back, and we still have a perfectly nice pocket right here. See how as you're doing things, you just, you modify, you just, improvise. Yeah, oh, that's gonna be so much better. So much better. Ta-da! Oh, it's cute. It's really cute. Okay, let's put it down. Now the sort of unfinished, kind of ugly, not ugly, but if you were gonna pick an ugly side versus a pretty side, I would say that this would be the ugly side, right? If you don't have an envelope to do this, guess what else would have worked? Just a spare piece of paper. You don't have to have an envelope. I just kind of liked adding the craft paper look to this because it's kind of a vintagey thing. How about that? Yeah, that's cute, huh? Okay, let's do the front inside, okay? So now at this point, I probably will try to make this somewhat similar. So this one is about 1.5 inches from the inside, which is going to be here, 1.5 inches, and 1.5 inches. So right about here, and right about here is where that is going to lay. Okay, so I've already kind of made 2 little marks. That's where it's going to line up. Not that anyone's going to be measuring that, but in case somebody does. Glue it down. Just going right in between those 2 little marks, which I can erase. So you see that's pretty much lined up there. Okay, erase these little guys. I mean, nobody's gonna notice except us, right? Okay. All right, so that is that. Okay, so we gotta get the holes in this one. Now what we can do is use this, because now we already have a template an exact template with the back cover. Okay, crocodile, here we go. You're on. You're on duty. There we go. And no erasing needed. Okay, oh, that looks so good. That looks so good. So we've got our front and back. We've got our little inside pockets. So let's get some Mod Podge over her. We're gonna let that dry, and then we're gonna work on our inside dividers. Okay, so I'm just gonna carefully as I can, go over this. And you know, it's okay if it overlaps a little bit on the contact. I want it to, because if I don't have any, if I'm not overlapping enough, what am I trying to say? If I don't have enough glue or Mod Podge on the underside, this will cover up that edge. So, and this is gonna dry clear. So we don't have to worry about that. I'm just trying not to go over it too many times because it can make that ink, even though I sprayed it with a Tresemme, it can still do it, so. Okay. You're such a cute little lady. I love this. I know that this is very, 50s and 60s, maybe even 40s, but, it's vintage, it's nostalgic, and I like it. Okay, I've got a coat on here. I might do another coat, but I think for right now that is good. I'm gonna take this damp towel, paper towel, and just kind of get some of this excess off. It is gonna dry clear, but I did get kind of a lot. Okay, we're gonna let it dry. Okay, let's move on to the divider pages, which are gonna be super fun. Okay, so here's the divider pages, and I've already written my titles on here. Okay, so as I was saying, I feel like breakfast, I don't know, sunshiny yellow, maybe something like that. I could lay this down straight and then angle these. No, I'm gonna lay this down at an angle. I just feel that's kind of retro-y. So, okay, I'm gonna get these down, and for each one, I'm gonna do this same thing. Again, you don't have to do this. This is just me being, I don't know, me. Okay, just at a kind of nondescript angle. It's nothing specific. They might all be a little different. And put down our breakfast, pancakes and maple syrup. That's sounding really good right now. I haven't eaten yet. I've had some espresso and that's about it. Okay. We're gonna get this down straight, and it's perfectly fine if it overlaps. I just wanted a little bit of color behind it to tie in with the tab, just so it wasn't so stark, I think that's good. Yeah, that's good. Cute. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so for this one, I just love this guy. That is super whimsical and cute. Same thing, we're gonna lay down our background and then our chef. Now I'm using Fabri-Tac for this, But you could use glue stick. You could use whatever glue you like, your glue of choice, you know. Oh, that is cute. Oh, he is cute. Let's see, am I getting him straight? Let's see, I guess I'll go by that line. Very cute. A little extra glue here. Oh well. With Fabri-Tac, you can kind of rub it off if you catch it soon enough. Okay, that one's done. So for breads and muffins, because it's a white tab, I'm doing a black background, and then I've got a cute little loaf of bread here. Why does this one look so much bigger than the other one did? Oh, hold on a second. Yeah, I did not have that cut right. Let's see, yeah. Okay. Because I made them all 6 by 6, so I knew that wasn't right. All right, so how do we do you here? Go a little bit, I don't want to run into that. Okay, so we're gonna go maybe up a little bit. Sort of like that, and then it's going to be like that. Okay. And some of these are just paper, and some are cardstock. You don't have to have cardstock. It was just that it was the color that I was looking for. So, you know, it's going to be way sturdy even if you don't use cardstock, but some of them, that was all I had the color in. And our bread. Telling you, I'm just a big kid. I just love it. Okay. Sides and veggies. Well, we got to have green, right? So, you know, when you look for images for side dishes, you don't really get much. So, oh, how fun is that? That is really fun. I can't remember how it was on the computer page, but we're gonna put it kind of like that. Okay. And if you do this, you know, maybe you want to have really colorful images. I mean, there are lots of free images on the internet and like on Graphics Fairy and that sort of thing. I was just kind of going for more of this vintage, nostalgic look. Ta-da! Okay, and dessert. And of course I felt like dessert had to be pink, right? And our little chef here making a pie of some kind. I hope it's blueberry, that's my favorite. Okay, so I'm gonna place it down close to the middle and get our little guy. There he is, cooking us up a pie. Okay. Oh, I got a lot of glue right here. A lot. One little overboard. That's not going anywhere anytime soon. Okay, there are dividers. I'm gonna let those dry, and we're gonna go back to the covers, and we're gonna embellish those little envelopes. We're gonna put the rings in and put in some paper, and we're done. Okay, so what should we do for this one? I've got some really fun little images here. I just feel like I kind of got to use this little chef's apron and hat, right? I know this is probably kind of a, maybe is that kind of a barbecue-y kind of thing, but, and then this says menu. I think that says menu. It's very teeny tiny. Oh, and it opens up. I don't know what it says. Okay, I do like that. and I like chef. I mean, I could also, should we play with putting stuff in other places? I don't want the recipes to get caught on them, is the thing. But here's an idea. Why couldn't it overlap on the bottom, right? We could do that. Okay, let's do it. Okay, we gotta use the chef's hat. I mean, really. So maybe he's gonna go right here. I think I'm gonna use these with some of these things. Oh, I lost my blender again. Oh well, we'll find it. Okay, that's so cute. This is so cute. Okay, I'm just gonna tuck in a couple of these as an example. See, this is where I did a screenshot of a YouTube video, like, you know, in the description box where you can see the recipe, and printed it. So that's how lazy I can be. Okay, and this can go in here. Oh my goodness, I love that. I love it. Okay, so our front is still a little bit wet. So not wet, but it, you know, just a little bit tacky. And that's how she's looking. I think it looks really good, really, really cute. I probably will put another light coat of Mod Podge over that. But for right now, so that we can finish this, I'm gonna turn it over on a sheet of plastic. And let's put down some fun little embellishments on here. What do we got here? We've got some baguette. We've got some utensils. I lost that blender. I don't know where it went. The blender is gone. Okay, I found the blender. You are not cooperating. Okay. So to me, like milk and stuff like that doesn't really say cooking. This was probably part of a breakfast kind of, obviously, kind of sticker set. But I do like the baguette because we do have a bread section. And, oh, that's perfume because this was part of a French set here. Pardon me. And so what do we want to do? I think we can have eggs. I think we can have our blender, right? And we're going to do the same thing. And we're going to kind of overlap a little bit. But I think the blender might give me trouble if I try to do that because it doesn't want to stay attached to his base. Okay, right here. We're going to put him here because we use blenders for cooking and baking, right? You know what? It needs just a little bit of glue. Okay, so we're going to stick that down. Oh my gosh, this is just too cute. Too cute by half. Okay. And then we could probably put the baguette down in here. I like that. And the eggs. We'll just stick right here. And then maybe just a couple of utensils, huh? I just feel like these aren't really so much cooking oriented, but like breakfast oriented. But we certainly do need, now this is 3. That's supposed to be a really good amount, you know, but we're gonna kind of ignore that, you know. Using odd numbers is supposed to be supposed to be the thing. Let's see, let me look at the back here. I don't know, I feel like that might be good enough, just like that. Let's go with that. Okay, so all we really need to do now is put together, yeah, she's just a little bit tacky yet. So I'm gonna let that dry just a little bit longer, and then we're gonna assemble the whole thing and recap. Okay, guys, I think that it is dry enough in the front for us to finish this recipe journal. So I've already gone and attached my rings, and you just like, it's like those rings that, you know, are on like key rings. That's basically what it is, but it is also for binders. So you just open those up and you slip on, you know, your pages or whatever with your 3-hole punch. I have punched all of my recipes, okay? And I've already inserted these in here. And now we're gonna put the cover on and we're gonna close it up, and then I'm gonna show you the whole thing. I am so pleased with this. It is so fun. I mean, it kind of makes organizing your stuff a little bit more fun, right? And then we're gonna close them up. Now, these are really stiff. I had to have my son help me open these this morning. It's probably just me, but I was having some issues with it. So I think that they will probably like loosen up as you use them. Okay, all right, let's get rid of this. Oh my gosh, I just love this. Okay, so here's our pretty cover. And again, this is just chipboard. Could be any kind of hard paper or food box that you want to use. And then we've got on our front cover, we can stick a little recipe in here, just like so. And my thinking for these is that to stick things that I have just handwritten and want to write down later or whatever, you know, it can be to hold whatever. And we have our cute little embellishments. Then we've got our breakfast recipes. And I don't have all of my stuff in here yet, but you can see how nicely they fit in here. And then we've got our main dishes with our guy, and he's carving this big old, I don't know, that's a big steak. So we've got main dishes in here, and you organize yours whatever way you want to. This just made sense to me. Breads and muffins, and I have bruschetta in here, which I guess that's more of an appetizer, but I don't have a category for that, so it is bread. So we've got our sides and veggies, and we've got some cauliflower rice here, and we've got our little dessert section, and we've got some really fun, pretty desserts in here. I've got a lot more to add. And then our back cover, which we have embellished with our little pocket. But I really love the way it turned out, you guys. I love it. It's so fun. I can't wait to add more stuff to it. Again, as always, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you, and I hope you have a great rest of the day. Bye.